on both sides of the alliance, we face defense budget challenges. I think it's unclear to me just what the magnitude of those challenges are going to be on the U.S. side, because those are ultimately political decisions. Something that makes sense and would make sense and has made sense even in less challenging and budgetary environment is greater interoperability, seeking greater interoperability among Australian and American forces. And I think that'll become all the more important in challenging budgetary times. But that's the type of thing we should be doing, regardless, and in fact have been doing over the past decade. We tend to focus on major weapon systems, for example, weapon sales, weapons purchases, whether to buy abroad, whether to build it at home, and that makes a certain amount of sense. But I think there's also a lot of room to improve interoperability, things like munitions, logistics, where I think what we should really be thinking about is building kind of a common logistical pool on which you can draw, on which we can draw. And there, I don't think you're posing the types of sharp, trade-offs that often occur when you're talking about major weapon systems. We should be looking for solutions that make sense to each ally and offer disproportionate benefits in an alliance context. So I tend not to like the term burden sharing because to me it sort of smacks of the Cold War, and it sort of smacks of we're going to do less, we want you to do more. I think we should be looking for solutions that make sense for Australia, make sense for the United States, and then particularly make sense when we act together as an alliance. As I look back, I would say our information sharing agreements with Australia, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Makes sense from a U.S. perspective, makes sense and benefits Australia even when Australia is operating unilaterally, but then in an alliance context offers us collectively disproportionate benefits. Well, I think the rotational deployment of Marines to Darwin offers several benefits. One is just the opportunity for the ADF and the Marine Corps to work together and work together in the region. We have a lot of experience working together in Southwest Asia and in Central Asia, but to do it in the region. I think it also offers some intriguing opportunities to bring other regional actors together to train with you and to train with us. So I think generically, if you think about that kind of a construct, I think much more of that makes sense. First off, legislative support for the alliance is very strong, both in the executive branch and the legislative branch. There's very strong support. The second level, though, does get to some of the considerations you were talking about: industrial policy, jobs in congressional districts, things like that. And so I think that you'll have a number of legislators that, while they're big supporters of the alliance, still have very legitimate domestic political considerations. And so I think those are things that we need to work through. But I think that having been said, I still think that there are there are smart things that we can do on both sides.